Hey everyone, and welcome to RUBIN'S Mind Lab, where we break down the latest research into what it really means. Have you ever wondered why some family traditions feel like invisible chains, while others feel like a warm hug? Today we are looking into the complex, beautiful, and sometimes difficult world of gender roles in Latin America and the Caribbean. It is a story that goes way back to ancient civilizations and stretches right into the modern digital age. When we talk about gender in this part of the world, we cannot just look at today. We have to rewind to the 16th century. Before European ships arrived, many indigenous groups had their own ways of organizing society. Some were actually quite balanced or even led by women, but then the colonizers brought a specific version of Christianity that planted the seeds of what we now call patriarchy. This is a system where men hold the power and set the rules. This brings us to two massive pillars in Latin American culture. You might have heard the terms Machismo and Marianismo. Think of Machismo as the idea that men should be tough, dominant, and in charge. On the flip side, you have Marianismo, which is based on the image of the Virgin Mary. It puts pressure on women to be pure, self-sacrificing, and silent. It is like an unwritten script that people are taught from childhood. It tells men how to act strong and tells women how to be the perfect quiet nurturer. But let us talk about real people like a woman named Carmen. She decided to focus on her home and family. In some circles, she might get criticized for this, as if being a stay-at-home mom is a step backward for feminism. But psychology is starting to see that the real goal is autonomy. If she is making a free choice and it fits her life, that is actually a modern win. The problem happens when traditions are forced on people, not when they choose them. This is where it gets serious for mental health because of Marianismo. Many women feel like they have to suffer in silence to keep the family happy. If you are taught that your needs come second to everyone else, you are much less likely to ask for help when you are feeling anxious or depressed. It is not just a cultural quirk, it is a barrier to wellness. Research shows that women with high levels of these traditional beliefs end up having higher rates of depression and anxiety because they feel they cannot voice their pain. When these rigid roles are taken to the extreme, they can lead to horrific outcomes, including violence. We are talking about femicide, which is specifically the killing of women because they are women. Artists have been using their work to fight back against this silence. For instance, Elena Chauvet used red shoes on the street to mark the missing women. And Beth Moyes used the image of broken brides to show that violence against women is not just a private home issue, it is a public emergency that everyone needs to face. The pressure to fit into these traditional boxes is even harder on the LGBTQ+ community. In a culture that values this very specific, classic version of manhood, someone who does not fit feels an intense amount of isolation. When parents or society reject a child because their identity does not match the old-school mold, the mental health risks skyrocket. This is not about the person. It is about the coldness of a society that refuses to change its expectations. But there is a lot of hope. The region is changing fast. From Argentina to Chile, laws are catching up to recognize the rights of all people to love and live as they choose. It is a slow, messy process, but the conversation has finally moved into the light. We are seeing more people challenge these old systems and demand a society where you can be yourself, regardless of your gender or who you love. So, what is the takeaway here? This research is a powerful reminder that culture is not just something in the history books, it lives inside our living rooms, our marriages, and our heads. The biggest lesson is that we have the power to redefine these roles. We don't have to carry the baggage of the 16th century into our future. Whether it is supporting a woman's right to choose her path or making sure the LGBTQ+ community feels safe and supported, the change starts when we decide that individual humans matter more than old rigid labels. I think this research is incredibly important because it humanizes these big concepts like machismo. It shows that it is not about hating tradition. It is about making sure tradition doesn't hurt people. The limitation, of course, is that Latin America is huge and diverse. What is true for one city isn't always true for the next village over. Future research should keep looking at how these dynamics shift in smaller, more rural communities to get an even clearer picture. If you found this breakdown helpful and want to help us keep exploring the psychology of life, do not forget to hit that subscribe button. Drop a comment below and let me know what is one tradition in your own life that you think is worth keeping or changing. I would love to hear your thoughts. Thanks for hanging out at the Mind Lab, and I will see you in the next video.